Hello, everybody. My name is Jamie, and I'll be your host today on this Xbox Enthusiast review of the EA conference. We just got done watching that today. So I guess first reaction before we do the breakdown, thumbs up or thumbs down? What do you guys say for EA?
Can you see me? Thumbs down.
Of course. It looks like a lot of thumbs down are going on right now. But now, before we get into the specifics of why we're doing the thumbs down, let's kind of go through the rundown of the show. Now, they opened up with Titanfall. They showed off the multiplayer and the single player, and they let us know it's coming this October. And we also know it's multi-platform now, so it's not just Xbox One. It's coming to PS4 and PC as well. So, first question for all of you. Do you think if that Titanfall trailer hadn't leaked earlier today, do you think that Titanfall announcement would have had a bigger impact?
You know, I don't think so. With the shooters that are coming out this fall, I think that Titanfall really needs a place to breathe and stand out. It seems like EA is trying to do a shotgun effect.
Sure.
And I'm not quite sure really that was this place to start, because everybody really wanted to see Battlefield 1.
Sure.
Yeah, I think I don't know that it's necessarily the trailer that leaked, but we had heard, I want to say maybe 2-3 weeks, maybe even a little bit longer than that. We heard that single player was going to be a thing in Titanfall 2. So it's almost like, you know, we know that's coming. I mean, the trailer was great. It may be Peter Cullen. I don't know if we have confirmation on that, but didn't it sound like Optimus Prime? The robot? I could have swore it was Optimus, which actually kind of excited me.
Sure. Steve, what do you think, Steve? Do you think it was Optimus Prime or what?
I didn't really watch the original TV show enough to be able to tell you that. Okay. What I would say though is that there's a lot of excitement for the game, because the first game was fantastic, and what it was missing really was content, particularly single player campaign. And now that they're adding that in, it could be an absolutely fantastic game, and we just need to see more of it. I mean, in the teaser trailer that was released, there was like a robot with a sword, which looked amazing, but we didn't see anything of that in the trailer. We just want to see those kind of cool moments happening, you know?
Sure. Yeah. Now, Chris, I know you and I were kind of talking during the conference. You noticed there's new kind of like melee combat.
Yeah, so in the original game, pretty much the only thing that you could do was punch somebody, which was amazing when you punched like a soldier, because they just exploded into blood. But yeah, like there was actually some melee, some kicks and some punches. It looked like more melee combat. I completely echo Steve though in the fact that Titanfall was great upon concept, wore out its welcome really fast because there just wasn't a lot there. Adding content to that formula is hopefully a recipe for a lot more success. I mean, I can't wait to play it. I love Titanfall. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Titanfall was a great game, so I'm super excited to get my hands on more of it, especially with the single player. That should be nice.
Yep.
Well, the thing about Titanfall was by the end of it, and by the time people stopped playing it, that actually expanded and did a very good job of filling out the multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they had a lot. Yeah, they had some the season pass stuff. And then I think eventually it went free. But
right.
I mean,
after I
paid that, you gotta
yeah, likewise.
Yeah, you gotta kind of hook people early. So hopefully they will this time.
Okay.
Can I say something about the single player campaign?
Go right ahead.
So they announced that it's a single player offline campaign. How is that going to work with the Titans? Because all the Titans and all the extra characters running around the map were being powered by the cloud in the original game. So how is that going to work in single player? Are they not going to have as much stuff on the screen at one time, or is the AI in the Titans not going to be as impressive, or how's it going to work?
This is, well, primarily it's going to be scripted moments. A lot of what ran the AI in the first was, like you said, the cloud. And
yeah.
This is mostly going to be scripted moments. Think more Call of Duty and less Titanfall for the next single-player campaign. Like,
yeah,
this
totally.
looked like-
But part of the brilliance of the game was the fact that these Titans, you could just let your Titan run off on its own, and you didn't have to you didn't necessarily have to control it so much, just because the AI was so good, it would take care of itself, and it would protect you and wipe out enemies on its own. Now, if it hasn't got that cloud computing power, how are they going to do it? Is it just not going to be as much stuff?
Sure, what they'll do at the Microsoft conference, they'll be like Titanfall 2 single player, only available on Xbox Scorpio.
Yeah, no, not at all. So here's what I think they do, Steve. I think that they set up. I think in the trailer you have Optimus Prime, who says that his pilot was killed in action, right? And then he's bonded with Sam Witwicky, this other soldier, and from what they're showing, it looks like you're kind of just on this almost maybe even like a rogue mission where you're the only Titan. So I could see them kind of pull that off if there's only one Titan on the good guy, on the good side, and maybe you only face off against one or possibly two at a time during the campaign. Because what you had to think about multiplayer, and the reason the cloud was important, was because you had to be able to have at least 8 mechs on the map at one time, render the whole thing, because in a single player experience you're only going to be at one place on the map, but you're rendering the whole map at one time, all 4 Titans possibly, if they're all called down at the same time. So I think by just streamlining it down to 1 and then possibly a couple of like enemy AI mechs, you could probably do it, and still have some of the freedom of setting them up in sentry mode and having them take out people while you're flanking. Hopefully that stuff's there. If that stuff's not there, then we're really missing a lot of what made Titanfall great, which was calling in your Titan, setting up a defensive position, and then coming up behind the enemy. Like, that has to be there.
Sure. Yeah. Well, actually, speaking of multiplayer, are any of you into esports? Because that is the next thing they hit on in their conference. They're going to have a new esports initiative, and what they said, making competition fun and meaningful for everyone, regardless of ability. What they're going to do, they're going to take all the new sports games, so Madden and FIFA were the two they showed off. They're going to have 3 different versions of online play now. They're going to have Challenger, which is going to have weekly online challenges, Premier, which is more of a large-scale live event, and then they have what's called EA Major. And they called this the marquee event on a global stage. So this is more from the really big, prize money kind of events. It actually starts this weekend at E3 with Madden 2016 Championship. So I guess first question: are any of you into esports at all, or is this something we can just kind of hop over?
Anyone?
Don't know, rush.
Sure.
No.
Look, it's a huge community, right? I mean, they wouldn't do it if there wasn't a huge community in there. I'm not a big fan of even playing multiplayer games, so much less entering esports. I think that for that community, it's good to see them take it seriously and and bring something that's a lot more competitive to the scene. But honestly, I have no interest. I completely zoned out at that time.
Sure, I think most people did.
Yeah.
But one place people didn't zone out. Now, Chris, you wrote the story on this, so let us know a little bit about Mass Effect Andromeda. What's going on with this one?
Well, I mean,
and
this
try
kind of
not
falls
to troll this time.
Yeah. Well, and that's the problem. Like, this falls into the same category where, like, there wasn't really a lot shown, and definitely not really a lot revealed. Like, most of it was just kind of some more details about the story. Andromeda, they're going to look for a place to have to set up humankind, and so you're on this exploration journey. The things that they say sound great: larger world, more expansive, more species. You saw some in some of the footage, you saw different alien creatures and stuff. Like, everything's great, but at this point we get one brief glimpse of the captain, who was a female form at this time. You would assume they're going to have the same capabilities of choosing male or female. female, but not that that matters. But hopefully there's still that choice in there. You can kind of create your own captain. But then, like, we don't know any of the parties that are going to be joining. There really wasn't any other alien races shown. Like, there's just not a lot there. This game is supposed to ship in first quarter next year, if I remember correctly, or at least early in 2017. And we still haven't actually seen the game in action.
Sure.
You know, whether they're using in-game assets or not, like, I mean, if it's coming out in the first half, it's going to be out before next year's E3. So this is the last E3 that Andromeda is going to get, and that's what they showed. So
now, they did say that they will be showing more Mass Effect at future events. Now, I'm not sure which events those would be. I mean, I know we got the Game Awards at the end of the year and a couple other things. But I mean, you're right though, Chris. I mean, E3 is the big event they really should be showing off this game.
Yeah. Side note, and then I'll let these other guys talk. I think that that we may actually get a bigger reveal on stage at either Microsoft or Sony's press conference this week. So that I think that may be why they didn't. I think we may get more.
Sure. Well, Steve and Kendra, anything to add to this on Mass Effect? First of all, are you excited for Mass Effect? Did you like the original trilogy?
Oh yeah, and then some.
Very much so. Very much so. It's just, I don't know. It's another trailer. We know nothing about this. I mean, it's a new galaxy. It's a new this, that, or the other. But I mean, it's still more PR speak. It's nothing really concrete until we're actually seeing the game being played.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, I mean, it was very much another tonal trailer. There wasn't gameplay. There wasn't anything about the story. Yeah, it's made in Frostbite. Well, that was confirmed rather than specifically learning that. But
yeah.
We don't really know much about it. It's set in a different universe. We knew that already. We just haven't learned anything new. We haven't learned anything new from this press conference. And they said that they look forward to showing more in the fall. And it's like, well, what events are there in the fall that they could actually show it at, unless they're going to create their own thing, you know?
Yeah.
Gamescom.
Yeah, I mean, Gamescom is a good one. I mean, you know, I think VGX...
But Gamescom is August. Gamescom is in August. That's kind of a summer event.
It's almost fall. It's like right on the line.
That's in our fall.
Sure.
Yeah. You know what? I think kind of what Steve said sums up the whole press conference, to be honest, is that it's kind of like, hey, you know everything that you already know? Well, you already know it. It's like, I'm going to buy Mass Effect day one. If they never show me anything else about the game, I will buy it day one. I love the series. But if you're going to carve out time in front of all of, you know, games media and the press, and that's what you're going to show me, like, it's just lackluster at this point.
Sure. Okay, real quick fire question for all of you. Do you think they'll show more at Microsoft or Sony's conference? I mean, do you think are they holding everything back for the fall, or do you think we're going to get more details tomorrow?
You talking Mass Effect specifically?
Yes, Mass Effect specifically.
I personally don't think they will.
Okay.
Fall.
Okay.
Like, it's going to be a much later time because they have a lot of other things coming this fall, and Andromeda isn't till spring, so we're not gonna hear anything from that.
Yeah, I still hold to. I mean, they came out with Microsoft. I kind of would hope and think we may see maybe the first actual gameplay on stage tomorrow at Microsoft's press conference. I don't think it'll be a lot. I don't think it'll be, you know, really extravagant. But at least on we've actually seen leaked footage of the jetpacks and some of the partying up. You know, about a month or so ago. There actually is leaked footage out there. So like, there's no reason not to show that to the public.
Okay. Well, after Mass Effect, they kind of went back to their sports, went back to FIFA 2017. You know, pretty much they had to come out and say,
I don't know if you call that a sport. But
hey, according to EA, it is the most popular sports game in the world.
That's true. That's true.
Just like all their other games, they announced that it's going to use a Frostbite engine. We know that. And they also had a gentleman by the name of Alex Hunter come out, talk about the game, and then they showed the new trailer. So it kind of has like a story mode. We can, you know, build up a character and go through that. And then they also had Oh geez, kind of like a manager's mode, I guess you would call it, as well, added in the game.
They brought Jose Mourinho out, yes.
Yes,
Right.
they did.
So, okay, Steve, are you excited for FIFA 2017?
Yes, Steve.
What?
No, just...
Okay, yes, I'm English, therefore I am into football and I do like FIFA. However, I think the story mode is just crazy. It kind of reminds me of what they did with Need for Speed The Run, where that had kind of like more of a story than most of the Need for Speed games, and had you kind of running around and doing all this stuff, which wasn't racing cars. And it was a disaster, that game. It just didn't work.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that they're going to do that to FIFA, because FIFA is one of those games you sit on the sofa with your mates and you play a game of footy, and it's great fun like that. But what you don't want to do is have this whole kind of convoluted story thing where you kind of walk around, get contracts. It's just bizarre.
Sure.
Now, NFL too. They're our new hires, actually. They're all under the age of 25, and they love FIFA. Like, that is the game that they bring a PS4 to work to play at risk of being fired. and and if you guys ever call me at work, you guys will hear it in the background. It is the only thing that they do is they play FIFA for hours. They may go do some work, and then they'll come back and play even more FIFA. So, like, we as a hardcore may not be excited about that, but they might see that and get real pumped for it. And I think that's really who that's for.
Sure.
Yeah.
And Chris, we all know you're super excited. Tell us about your love for FIFA.
I was just gonna say, when I play footsies with my mates on the couch, my wife gets really mad at me. But that may be something different.
Hey, if you really want to get into stereotypes here, mate, you're from flipping Texas.
No, hey, look.
Shit.
I know. No.
Okay. To get it.
I just thought it was funny you called it footsies. What'd you call it?
Footy.
Footy. Okay. All right.
Okay, guys. Okay.
This is one of those things that it's like Madden, right? There's a following for it, and it's not necessarily something that I play, but it definitely has its place in the market, and there are people that play it, in droves every year. I mean, FIFA is the #1 sports selling game of the year. I like that they're taking a risk and doing something good. Hopefully, it doesn't turn out like The Run. I would actually probably be more amped to play a sports game if there was more of a story progression in it for me, because I'm more of a story, type of gamer. I like story focused stuff. So that's actually cool. So if they pull it off and it's something that's substantial and adds value to the actual game that you're playing, that's great. If they're making you walk around and pull weeds out of the soccer field, that's kind of a waste of time. So I don't know. We'll see what it turns out to be, but it
Sure.
could be cool.
Weed Puller 2017. That is Chris's game.
Simulator.
Isn't that what they do? Like on Monday after the game, they come in and they pull the weeds for the next week.
I
have no idea how sports work.
I do think it very much depends whether it is more of a kind of Need for Speed The Run thing where it's a substantial part of the game, or whether it's more kind of like, if you guys ever played the first Grid game, that had kind of like a story element to it as the guy was kind of progressing through the series and building up his team around him. It was a very minor part of the game, but it fitted it quite well. If this is that'll be fine, but if it's a major part of it that kind of almost as though if there's lots of gameplay that isn't playing football, what's the point of it?
So have you ever played the Power Pro series, which is a baseball game?
No, because we play proper sports in this country.
Okay, Chris, where are you going with this?
Wait. No, so I was just going to say, so Power Pros has this really cool thing. It's one of the only sports games that I've ever liked, and the reason is because you have to go and during the off days you can train and you can do different things, but you have to find an apartment to live in, and you have to you can get a girlfriend, and if she stresses you out, it affects your batting average, and like there's all kind of crap that you have to do. It was a ton of fun. If you eat too many hot dogs, like you can't run as fast the next game, like stuff like that's cool. So I mean, there's an audience
it
out
had
there.
walking simulator elements in it. That's why you liked it.
There are, yeah, that's exactly what I want all my games.
Sure. Okay. Well, getting off of hot dogs and girlfriends making you lose your batting average. After this, they went into their indie stuff. They talked with Zoink Games. They had them come out on the stage, and they talked about the new game Fee, which is a 3D platformer. It looked pretty cool. We don't really know a lot about it yet. I mean, they showed a new trailer for that. And then they also had the team for Unravel come out as well. So now I have to admit the Unravel part I missed because I was doing a story on that. Did they announce anything significant for that team?
No. They mainly were just talking about how they basically just gave a recap of how well the game did and how it was kind of the game that launched the idea of EA Originals, which is what they really spent most of the time talking about.
Sure. Okay. Now, have any of you played Zoink Games, other stuff like Zombie Vikings or Stick It to the Man? Any of that stuff at all?
Yes.
Now, Kendra, you sound excited.
Well, they're hilarious. I mean, the games are more built around humor than anything else. I mean, they're very well and mechanically sound. It's just they're hilarious and they're very fun to play, and they're very jokey and they're very light. They're great games to play when you're tired of doing the blood-soaked fest of something like Doom or something, or you've had a hard day at work. Those are the best. They make those games, and they hit a really good spot with those.
Sure. And actually, if you want to play Fee now, in Zombie Vikings, I don't remember how to get to it. There's a hidden demo for that game in Zombie Vikings. I can't remember how to get to it, but if you're interested, Google it, check it out. It's pretty cool. But after that, we got into the big announcement everyone's been waiting for, Star Wars. I mean, we know EA got Star Wars, the license. Well, I mean, they announced a couple of people. Well, I'm just saying, people were waiting for it when they talk about it. And they did. I mean, they talked a little bit. They're still supporting the games that are out now. So Star Wars Battlefront, Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, and Star Wars The Old Republic. They're going to get continued support through the next year. And a new Star Wars Battlefront is going to come out next year. They're going to be building, according to them, they're going to be building on the foundation of the first game because they've been listening to what players want. And it's going to include content from the new films. Now, before I move on to the other games we talked about, do any of you play Battlefront? Because that's a game I'm not a big online multiplayer shooter person, so I never picked up Battlefront.
Overwatch kind of ended that habit for me.
I played a lot last year when it came out up through Christmas and New Year, but I'm not much of a multiplayer gamer, so I kind of lost interest pretty quick.
Yeah, I enjoyed what I played of it, but there just wasn't enough content there. It's the same thing with Titanfall. It's like you ended up playing the same matches over and over again, and there wasn't it didn't feel as much of a skillful game to play online as other games. It very much felt that that anyone could just join in and play, which is great for getting a bigger audience. But if you actually want to develop that kind of hardcore audience who are going to stick with the game for long periods, it just didn't have that.
Yeah,
Sure.
I agree with that.
Now, if they do add single-player content, well, I guess my question would be, what do they have to add to the game to make you feel like you're getting your money's worth, Steve?
Single-player campaign. Simple as that.
Sure. So you don't care about new maps or the new movie or anything like that. You just want a single-player campaign.
No, it's not rocket science. I just want to be able to play that game with a single-player story, even if it's like the single-player campaign in the previous Battlefront games, where you were effectively just walking around like multiplayer maps, playing multiplayer games against AI. But I just want some kind of story in there and to be able to play it on my own. Do you know what I mean?
Right, sure.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Game. Gotcha. You want Titanfall, the Battlefront game? Gotcha.
Yeah,
Right. Sure.
yeah.
Big guys.
Big Titans with lightsabers. Be brilliant.
Right. Go for that. Yes.
Sure. That would be pretty cool.
Yes.
But, okay, other Star Wars news. We know Visceral Games is working on something new. We don't really know exactly what it is. They said it's going to have an original narrative, and it's going to have new characters set in the Star Wars universe. So it's not going to be, taking from other movies. It's going to be making their brand new own project, own story set in Star Wars universe, and that's going to be coming in 2018. The other Star Wars project is from Respawn. They don't have any release date or anything for this at all. We just know it's going to be a third-person action-adventure game, and that's pretty much all we know. So we're pretty much in the dark on Star Wars. We know they're all coming, and
which is what we knew yesterday.
Right. And they pretty much just had a talking head trailer, showed creators of the game kind of talking about it, but that's about it.
And they showed about 5 seconds of that early gameplay footage from the Visceral one, didn't they? Where some guy in a kind of third-person view walked out of what looked like a cantina thing. And I think there were... Chris is more the Star Wars fan, but I think they had like First Order flags or something on the in the background there or something. So that might set it in kind of the same time period as like the new Star Wars films.
Yeah, they didn't have they hadn't released that footage yet before we started this, so I haven't had a chance to take a look at it. I do believe it could have been First Order, could have still been Imperial as well. There were Star Destroyers, but again, the First Order had pretty much the same Star Destroyers, had TIE fighters, so there were a couple of TIE fighters that flew by. To me, the TIE fighters look gray. The ones in the new movie are black.
Yeah.
It feels like it might even be kind of a middle period, so maybe something set after Jedi but before we get to Force Awakens, which, I mean, again, we have, roughly 30 years in there, so it would be a good time to maybe place something. You have Rebels doing the cartoon, which is before, so between Episode 3 and 4, so actually setting a game between 6 and 7 could be cool. I mean, look, the saddest part of the show to me is that EA signed an exclusive deal to get Star Wars games. Star Wars is now officially at a movie a year. We're going to get Rogue One this year, and there's not going to be a Star Wars game on the shelf. This fall to go with it. Like something. Give me something. Give me like a 2D side-scrolling downloadable game. Do something with the license. They showed nothing. Like, it was the biggest disappointment for me of the whole show.
But don't you want their studios to spend the time creating a quality product rather than... Okay, so Battlefront was good, but the problem was the lack of content, and that's because DICE had to get it out in line with when Episode 7 was coming out.
Agree. I know. I agree with that completely. But they've had the license now for almost 2 years. So you don't think that there's a developer that they could have hired? Crap. Give me like Coldwood, who did Unravel, and give me like a 3-hour, 4-hour downloadable freaking R2-D2 game where I'm trying to maneuver through Stardust, like something, like
stuff that I want Yarny going to the dark side. I want Yarny going to the dark side.
Yarny the Sith. That's fine. Just do something.
Okay. Well, after that, they ended on Battlefront. So, Chris, go ahead and tell us about that one.
Battlefield.
Yes, Battlefield. I'm getting all my stuff mixed up. Battlefield.
Too many battles.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, again, this is we said it. We keep saying it. This is just confirming everything that we already knew. But without that being said, I mean, Battlefield looks amazing. Battlefield 1 looks fantastic. It has that same kind of feel the very first time you saw Battlefront when they first released, the screens. You're like, there's no way that a game can look that great. And regardless of how well Battlefront did, the game looked phenomenal in action when it came out. And you're going to get that same thing with Battlefield 1. The fact that we're going to World War I just completely excites me. I'm tired of space shooters. I'm tired of modern warfare stuff. This is going to be a real world event. So we're going to have some gravity to what's being done. It's going to be set in a setting that we're familiar with, and you're going to be able to ride a horse and cut people with swords, and you're going to be able to hijack a blip, and you're going to be able to drive. They say you could drive a train. what first-person shooter can you drive a train? What does that even? It doesn't matter. Like, I cannot wait to play. It looks fantastic.
First-person game, you drive a train. I'm assuming Train Simulator 2016.
Yeah, but you can shoot with a pistol out the window at the same time. I don't know, like how long does that? It's like, guys, I'll be back in about 35 minutes. You hang tight, and I'll be back around. I'll get them next time.
You won't play Train Simulator anyway.
That's what that was.
So, but no, it looks great. Again, we're back to Frostbite. EA is doing everything in Frostbite, so you know it's going to look good. And then if you had stayed on the live stream, they actually showed the first 64-player online match, which looked phenomenal.
Did you see when the Zeppelin went down, man? Oh,
yes.
They shot the Zeppelin and it falls down and it almost kills someone as it lands. It looks amazing.
Yes. So good. So good. So good.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, Steve, you sound super excited about this game. So are you a big Battlefield person, or are you just interested because World War I? I mean, what's pulling your interest on this one?
Okay, so I've played like Battlefield 1942, Battlefield 2, 3, 4. The Bad Company games were really, really good. But to be honest, Battlefield 4, it never really did it for me. I was very much more into Call of Duty. However, Battlefield 1 looks so good. It looks like a real change to the genre. It looks like it's just a fascinating time to set a game in. I recently went through that the Valiant Hearts game, and it was really
good.
Yeah,
so
it's a really, really good game. And like having played that, you can just see all these possibilities that they could enter into a Battlefield with the mustard gas and the different. You've got that kind of time period where you do have swords and you do have automatic weapons. You've got tanks and you've got horses. It's just an amazing crossover point for some fantastic gameplay.
Yeah.
Cool. And Kendra, what about you? Are you excited for Battlefield or for Battlefield? Now I'm all mixed up. Now I feel like I say Battlefront.
Battlefield.
Battlefield. Yeah, actually, I'm believe it or not, one of the more things I'm most excited about is seeing what they do to the battlefield and how they use it to force people down certain lanes and to change the way battles come out. Because one of my favorite things about Battlefield are maps and how the maps change and how they force people into certain behaviors. It's all really interesting. Like, if you remember Battlefield 2 Modern Combat, there was a map called Bridge Too Far, where it essentially you would have like all these points, but the fifth point would be in dead center in the map on this bridge that's completely destroyed, and there's only one way. Yes. And the things that would happen on that bridge during combat were just amazing, just flat out amazing. And
what happens on that bridge stays on that bridge.
Yes. So to see that they can go back and they can see what they can do with World War I and the battlefields that were out there and the way things worked at that time. It's like the ultimate steampunk war game. It's just I don't know.
So for me right now, the biggest question mark for me going into the game is World War I was basically one area. Like there was one line, and it never really pushed too far, either way. Yeah. So for me, it's going to be variety. Like I don't, you obviously see the biplanes and the Zeppelins, and so you're going to get some air stuff, and but just seeing how they can switch up locations and kind of environments, that'll be for me kind of their biggest hurdle. But everything else in that game looks just completely phenomenal.
But even then, you can have the situation where you have untouched villages and towns, so the buildings are very much still there. You can have towns that have been completely decimated. You've got the trench warfare. You've got warfare in the field. There's a lot of variation that you can do, even though you're in the same location.
Yeah,
I haven't been a big first-person war shooter like Call of Duty, stuff like that, Battlefield. I haven't played a lot of those in a long time, but Battlefield 1 really piques my interest. I absolutely am going to check that one out. It looks really, really good. The reason I loved Call of Duty back in the day, Call of Duty set in World War II. It was it was really awesome. I love the way they set the story. And when it went into Modern Warfare, I don't know, it just didn't click with me the same. So I mean, I didn't really care about it after that. So I think going more historical, doing World War I, it's going to be a really, really good game. But okay, guys, with that, that is pretty much our coverage of the EA conference. I guess quick fire question for all of you. I mean, should we rate it or should we just say thumbs down on this one, guys?
I mean, I don't think you need a rating. EA has some great games in the pipe. I mean,
Sure.
Battlefield 1 looks amazing. I will buy it day one. Mass Effect looks amazing. I'll buy it day one. Pretty much anything that they put Star Wars on the cover of, I will buy it day one. But as far as the show goes, I mean, it was a complete letdown, a complete disappointment for me.
Sure. Okay. Any other final thoughts from Steve or Kendra on the EA conference?
We really need to get the Kickstarter for the Yanni Goes Sith game.
Dude, I'm ready. I'm ready for that. I will back that.
Sure.
How about a Kickstarter for them to actually try something that's out there? I mean, EA just played this one safe like they did the last 3 years. How about we get something like that?
Sure. Well, with
Which
that,
is
guys,
basically a fantasy, so
Sure.
You have to do a fantasy game. You never know.
yeah, it could totally work. Totally work.
True.
With that, guys, we're going to cap off our coverage on the EA conference, but we will be back. This is just the start of a wonderful week. We also have Bethesda coming, Microsoft, and Ubisoft tomorrow, and then of course tomorrow night we have that other company. We'll just say that. But we will be back, guys. You'll hear more from us soon. But until then, we're out.
Later.